So we're up in Halacha Yomi, we're up to page 309. So the prohibition, over here is an introduction. The prohibition to perform Melachot, or labor, on Shabbat is derived from the Pesukim in chapter 35 in Sefer Shemot. It says, Moshe gathered the Bnei Israel and he said to them, these are the things that Hashem commanded to do them. Work shall be done 6 days of the week, which means making the Mishkan. But the 7th day shall be holy unto you. It's a day of rest for Hashem. Whoever does work on that day shall be put to death. The Gemara Masechet Shabbat, Daf Ayin, says that we have a Halacha Moshe Sinai, tradition from Moses at Sinai, that there are 39 Melachot, 39 forbidden labors on Shabbat. The Gemara also, Daf Memtet, says that the word Melacha comes up in the Torah 39 times. To teach us this, it's a hinting to this, that there's 39 forbidden labors. The true definition of Melacha is not work. People think it's work, what we do during the week. It's not. It means it's work, what we did in the Mishkan, the portable temple in the desert. Melacha does not mean work or toil, misconception. There's actually many types of perceived work that's permitted on Shabbat. Can a guy take his furniture from the basement and put it in the attic, and even though he'll be sweating like a dog? Yes, that's permitted. He didn't do it in a Melacha. He didn't do carrying. He exerted himself, and maybe he needed these chairs and these tables on Shabbat, so what's the problem? What did he do wrong? Yet, taking one piece of onion from a salad on Shabbat is borer, and he was broke Shabbat. What kind of work is that? So you see, it's not what we think it means work. So what the Torah conceives as creative work, like Hashem created 6 days a week, creating something new is what's forbidden on Shabbat. Okay, even plucking a blade of grass can be defined as melacha. Thus, melacha is not synonymous with toil or work. Rather, it's general categories of activities that they used to do in the Mishkan. Okay, desecrating Shabbat. Desecrating Shabbat has several conditions, and the punishments are given different ways. The penalty for deliberately, on purpose, transgressing mezid, a melacha on Shabbat, is execution by stoning. So this could be given out if there's two witnesses who saw you and warned you before you did it. The punishment will also be given through Sanhedrin, which we no longer have today. If Sanhedrin could not give the person the punishment, or if there's not enough evidence, then the punishment of deliberate Shabbat transgressors are given out by Hashem as a form as karet. Person today, if he breaks Shabbat, he gets karet. If he did it b'mezid, person who performed melacha inadvertently and did not, or meaning he didn't realize it was a sur what he did, or didn't know it was Shabbat, then he is considered shogeg and he's liable a korban hatat. It's sin offering that needs to be offered in the temple. So even though we don't have temple today, you could if you zocha to see the temple, you would have to give it then. Each melacha actually is only 39 major categories. There's actually derivatives of these major categories and subcategories within these categories. And those are called toladot. Those are called subcategories. The av is the father, quote unquote, and the tolda is the child, is the offshoot, is the derivative. And therefore, both are equally forbidden on Shabbat, right? For example, the av melacha in the temple, one of them was gozez, right? Which is shearing the wool from the skins of the sheep and the goats. But then the tolada, that a derivative of that, is cutting human hair or cutting nails that grow from the body. So those are all equally forbidden on Shabbat. It's just since one was in the Mishkan, it has the status of a av, and the other one is a derivative, so it has the status of a tolda. But they're both forbidden on Shabbat. In the Beit HaMikdash's times, one who unwittingly performed melacha on Shabbat was required to give a sacrifice. If he did two different melachot, he would have to bring two different sacrifices. However, if he did one av and it's tolada, he did a major category and its own subcategory at the same time, he would only have to bring one, because at the end of the day, he transgressed only one melacha from the Torah. So the Chachamim instituted another bunch of prohibitions to the laws of Shabbat. So besides for the avot and the toladot, they also made it you can't do things that undermine the spirit of Shabbat, or they said you can't do things that are similar to the melachot, right? Or they did things that they prohibited things that might lead to melacha, like muktzah. Muktzah is a big one, where they said you don't even touch the item that could be melacha be done with, right? Okay, and then another part of the introduction that's important is the melechet machshevet. Melechet machshevet means that you have to have a full concentration and full being mindful of what you're doing when you're doing it, right? So you had thought it out and you used skill, as opposed to when you didn't plan or you didn't have full awareness of what you're doing. So therefore, it's good to know different situations lead to different outcomes in halacha, but depending on what kind of mentality or focus you had in that moment. So, for example, number one is for it to be melechem machshevet and fully be liable. Number one, you have to have intention to do the melacha for the same goal they used to do it in the Mishkan, right? So let's say a person is I don't know, milking the cow, right, in order to drink the milk, right, as opposed to milking the cow to throw it away in the garbage, right? Or a lady is nursing, right? A lady's nursing her child, or she's using a hand pump. So that would be the melacha of dash, right? Of extracting the juice, extracting whatever is in the container, and then usually they use it to eat. But let's say she uses it to throw it out. She's not doing it for the same purpose that they did it in the temple. So that's called melacha she'eina tzricha l'gufa, right? Or let's say a person is popping a pimple, right? He pops the pimple, and not because he wants to put something inside the hole, right? Boneh, he's doing it just to alleviate pressure, right? Or he traps an animal not to capture and to use the animal. He's trapping it to save his life, to protect himself. All these situations are melacha she'eina tzricha l'gufa. You're doing the melacha, but not for the regular purpose, not for the regular goal that they did this melacha in the Mishkan for. Okay. At the end of the day, Melachot she'eina tzricha l'gufa is still a sumi d'Rabbanan, but it takes it lower since there's not a total dedication and awareness and focus like there usually is. So therefore, it lowers it from d'oraita to d'Rabbanan. This being d'Rabbanan, also, if you have another reason to be lenient, so then it could be combined to be a leniency. Like for example, when a lady is in suffering, right, because she's engorged, so she needs to nurse the baby. So she wants to hand pump and throw away the milk, right? So hand pumping, if to throw away the milk, is d'Rabbanan. It's melachot she'eina tzricha l'gufa, and then because she's in pain, tsar, so the rabbis were lenient in such a case. As if it'll be d'oraita, tsar doesn't help you. Tsar is still a sur, but since it's d'Rabbanan now, because the melachot she'eina tzricha l'gufa, so we can be lenient. Number two, the action must be performed in a way that one is aware of what you're doing. Someone who did something in an absent-minded way is called mitasek, and he's considered not even shogeg. He's even lower than shogeg. He's totally not liable at all, right? Where a person is walking against the wall and he didn't realize there's a light switch, and on Shabbat his shoulder turned off the light, and then he didn't know that there was a light switch there. So he's not even shogeg. Shogeg is the guy who knows there's a light switch, and he turned it off thinking, I didn't know you're not allowed to turn off lights on Shabbat. Or today's Shabbat, I thought today was Tuesday, that's why I turned it off. But here, he didn't even know the light was there. So he did totally absent-mindedly, is called mitasek, and that's not a sur at all. Number three, one must have intention for the result he caused to occur. A malacha that it happens as a byproduct, and he didn't have intention to do it at all, that's considered davar she'eino mitkaven, right? A guy, he drags the bench across the dirt. He had no intention that the bench should make a furrow to plow. He didn't have in mind that it should make a line of plowing, and that's davar she'eino mitkaven. He didn't have intention for it, right? However, that's an exemption only when it maybe will happen, maybe it won't happen. If it will for sure happen, you cannot claim that you didn't have intention for it. That's called a psik reshe, right? The kid was saying, Abba, 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 Abba. Leave me alone already, the Abba said. The kid's not quiet, so what do? He takes the chicken on Shabbat and he wants to kill the chicken. To give the child the chicken's head. He says, here, quiet already. So the rabbi told him, hey, you can't do that. It's a Shabbat. It's a sur to do shohet. You're not allowed to slaughter on Shabbat. He says, no, my intention is not to slaughter the animal. My intention is to give the chicken head to the child to play. He says, wow, psik reshe v'lo yamut. Well, you want to cut off the chicken's head and he's not going to die? Of course he's going to die. You can't claim he had no intention for the chicken to die. I only want the chicken's head for the toy. You know it's going to die, so you can't claim it's not your intention. That's called psik reshe, cutting of the head. Such an action is a sur. Even Rabbi Shimon, who argues Rabbi Yehuda, says davar she'mitkaven is mutar. He agrees by psik reshe that it's a sur. Right? Turning on hot water on Shabbat. right? You could say, my intention is to get the hot water. My intention, I don't care about the hot water going in, the new water going in the boiler and getting cooked. I don't care about it. It's not my intention. But you know it's going to happen, so you can't claim it's not your intention. I open the refrigerator door. I don't want the light to go on. That's not my intention. My intention is to get the hummus. Still, you know the light's going to go on. You can't claim it's not your intention. Okay. 4, melacha is only prohibited on a Torah level when performed in a normal manner. If you do it in a weird way, abnormal manner called shinui, right? Called shinui, then it's no longer prohibited on a Torah level. It's only assumed d'Rabbanan. For example, using your weaker hand on the melacha that usually you perform with the stronger hand, or you use your elbow, you use your knee, you use your leg. All these situations that lowers it from d'oraita to the Rabbanan. Even so, there's many limitations when shinui can be used. It's only many times it's still rabbinically forbidden to do so, even if you use shinui. Okay, number 5, it has to be for a constructive purpose. Something that's going to be destructive innately is called mekalkel. Mekalkel, we're going to see, it's also missing in melechet machshevet, and then it has to be permanent. Something that's temporary is also not considered melechet machshevet. And then it has to be the melacha is done completely. If you do the melacha halfway, it's not considered the Torah prohibition of melacha, and it has to be done directly. Indirectly, if there's a delay from your action until the thing happens, that's called grama. Grama, we're going to see, is permitted, and it's different than davar shemit kamen and psik resheh. Those are immediate, as opposed to grama, there's a delay. Baruch Amen. Amen.